The voice you're hearing is me, Dr. Phil, and I'm your instructor for CommStud 220 Intercultural Communication. I'm super stoked to work with you this semester, but before we actually get into our course content, I thought it might be helpful to give you a solid overview of how this course is set up in Bolt. So I'm going to give you an interactive walkthrough, and I hope that this will be helpful. Whether you've used Bolt before or have never used Bolt before, I highly recommend you watch this entire video, as this course is probably set up a lot different than your others. So let's click in one of these templates. Let me set myself up here as a student, because what I see and what you see may look quite different. This is going to be the course shell that you see, and I'm going to walk you through very briefly every single part of it. There may be things that you see on this video that you don't see when you log in. That's just because I have instructor view. I attempt to build everything into our calendar for this course so that you always know what's going on, but know that this calendar may be faulty. Thus, you should always click this content button and look at this table of contents, and you're going to see basically everything that this course consists of. Currently, I only have two modules open. Module 1, which goes through January 29th, and Module 2, which goes through February 5th. That's because I want everybody to have the same amount of time to complete those two modules. I want to make sure everybody's on the same page and knows what to expect and knows how this course works. And then at that point, after Module 2, I will open up all of the rest of the modules for you to complete. So if you're one of those people that likes to work ahead, that will be fine. Let's make sure we're all together at first, at the start, and then we can open up and you can take a different pace if that works for you. This About Your Instructor tab tells you a little bit more about me. You can visit my external website. I would love it because nobody ever visited it. So yeah, click on that if you would. It also gives you my contact information, which is most important. I ask that you contact me through any of these means, but only these means. So you can reach me through my official BloomU email address, which is right here. This is external. Or you can reach me via my own cell phone or via text on that phone. This is my personal number, and I give it to you freely. I invite you to ask me any questions you have. One of the easiest ways to get in contact with me is actually up here, though. This will allow you to send me an internal message through Bolt. So if you have a grade dispute, a grade question, or a personal detail to discuss, please do it here, as this is the most secure format. As you're asking questions, there are no questions too big or too small. However, make sure that the question you're asking isn't first answered here. This is our syllabus. It may take some time to load. We'll give it 1 second. You may have a lot of questions about this course, but I'm hopeful that many of them can be answered here. So this tells you everything you need to know: what this course is, what this course does, what you need in this course. This is our textbook. You'll also need to have access to a digital camera or something to take photos with. These are our class policies. The grading scale that I use, which is the Universal BloomU grading scale, used in this department. And then all the assignments that we will do. So you'll notice there's an introduction week, which consists of a syllabus quiz and a discussion forum worth 25 points. That's a significant chunk of your grade already. You'll note that each week, almost each week, you're going to complete something called a photo voice assignment. I'm going to talk about that in detail in just a second. There's a movie analysis for 75 points, a diversity date where you spend 2 hours with someone who is not like you, one doing something fun and one interviewing that person. You're going to do an identity mind map where you really triangulate who you are and put it down in a visual way. You're going to write a substantive paper at the end of this course called an autoethnography, where you connect your own personal experience to the content we've studied in this course. You'll have a midterm and a final, and no, the final is not cumulative. This is our course schedule. You'll also see this built into Bolt. However, the schedule as it stands here is Bible. The one built into Bolt is subject to being fallible. You will note during Module 1, which is our very first week together, there isn't any real content. This is to give you time to get your book, give you time to watch this video, give you time to review what photo voice looks like, gather everything you need to succeed. We'll really hit the ground running next week, starting January 30th, where we'll read Chapter 1 and do our first photo voice assignment, which is worth, again, a substantive portion of your grade. So let's back out and talk about those assignments. Clicking content again. Before we get to those assignments, let's see what else we've got in front of us. This is the information you need for your textbook. You do need your textbook to succeed in this course, so please get it early. You will be reading each week, and it's critical that you have access to it. If you're new to learning online only, or this is your first online course, or if this is your 19th online course, it's always helpful to revisit Bloomsburg University's Bolt student resources. So this is facts, basics, communication assignment, how to submit things, questions you may have. I recommend you refer to here often, especially if you have a more technical question. I'm happy to answer course-related questions, but I'm not the best help for technological issues. Because this is an online course, I want you to also make sure that you're brushed up on your netiquette. Be nice in our online setting. Remember that in the online world, we don't have as many nonverbal cues as we do face-to-face. So make sure that your communication takes into account the fact that other people may not be picking up exactly what you're putting down. Communicate professionally, communicate appropriately, and be nice in the process. Module 1, like I noted, is very brief. You're going to take a syllabus quiz. It's very, very brief, but make sure you have the syllabus handy or have read it and know it before you take that quiz. The introductions portal is going to give you a first glimpse into what PhotoVoice is like. Here's what I ask you to do. You're going to click in here. You're going to provide a selfie by Wednesday, January 25th, and then you're going to give us 2 paragraphs about you. 1, I want you to tell me who you are as a person. What are your personal interests? What do you like to do for fun? And then in the other paragraph, I want you to tell me about the serious part of you. What are your college plans, your major, your future career aspirations? And if you don't know them, give us an educated guess. All of that is due by Wednesday, January 25th. And then you need to reply to 3 peers by Sunday, January 29th. Module 2 starts next week. And this is actually where we hit the ground running with content. Each week, I'll post an overview here and tell you exactly what you need to do. This week, you'll need to read Chapter 1 in the textbook, and then you're going to complete a PhotoVoice assignment that is 2 parts. Let's talk about PhotoVoice. If we scroll back up here, you'll note in the syllabus and throughout that PhotoVoice is something we do regularly and actively in this course. PhotoVoice is a visual methodology used to capture our understanding of the world around us. It's actually a research method used in qualitative research, and it's something I have personally done a lot of work with, and my students have used it for years, I think, to great success, and I hope you'll find it to be successful and fun as well. I invite you to go over this information for PhotoVoice, including what it can look like, and if you're really interested, watch my talk on my dissertation research and how I've used PhotoVoice to better understand how men experience fitness. But you're going to do PhotoVoice, and soon it's going to become second nature to you. This semester, you're going to be using PhotoVoice almost every week, 10 times in the semester, to explore the concepts that we cover in each model. There are 2 steps to PhotoVoice. Let me first tackle step number 1, which is here. Each week, I'm going to be posting an initial prompt in the discussion board forum. You're going to need to respond to that prompt by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. In that by Wednesday 11:59 p.m. posts, you are going to respond to the prompt that I provide with an image that you take with your smartphone camera, with your webcam, with some digital device. That image is going to reflect your understanding of the prompt and the week's materials. Now, there are no right or wrong images. I just ask that you take an image. Do not copy and paste one that you found online. You're going to submit that image. You're going to center it, and below it, you're going to provide a caption. Not necessarily a detailed descriptor, but actually a caption, like a title. If this was hanging in an art gallery, what would its title be? Below that caption, left aligned, you're going to provide 2 paragraphs. In one paragraph, you're going to provide an analysis of your image. What are the themes you found? What does the image say to you or about you? Why did you choose that image and not another? You want to analyze it as if it's its own artifact. Don't just explain the image, but tie it to the week's content. In the other paragraph, that's really what you're going to do. Tie it to the week's content. Now, each week, there's going to be one required concept that you must work into your analysis in some way. And then there's going to be another list that you have to choose one from. So in your initial post each week, you're going to provide an image, a caption, and 2 paragraphs. And in those 2 paragraphs, you're going to incorporate one required concept that I give you, and then you're going to choose another one from a list. So you're going to be covering 2 concepts from the textbook each week in that first post. That's a lot, but guess what? That's just step 1. Step 2 is this, your response. This is actually incorrect. It says 1 peer, but that is for a lower level version of this course. You're going to be responding to 3 peers, and I will be fixing this after this video. So you're going to respond between Wednesday 11:59 p.m. and Sunday 11:59 p.m. to 3 peers. You're going to respond to them in a substantive way. That doesn't mean posting, hey, you did a good job, or I really enjoyed reading this. No, that means you critique, build upon, question, praise what they wrote in 6 to 8 sentences that go far beyond just the good job type of post. These replies really need to extend the conversation. They need to build upon what they have. Ask questions, find commonalities, find divergences. But the replies that get the most points always connect back to the week's materials. It is important to note that some students in this course may have a documented visual impairment, may not be able to post an image, and may instead post an extended textual narrative, may post an explanation. I want you to make those students feel welcomed here as well. There are also students who have privacy concerns who don't want to post an image. I ask that you work with all students in this course and make them feel welcomed. If you have questions about Photo Voice, you can always ask me. Let me show you what it actually looks like on the ground level. This is our Module 2 Photo Voice prompt. Here's what you're going to do. This week you're going to talk about why do we even care about this content anyways. And think of this almost as a written lecture. In pink or a different color each week, I'm going to have the initial prompt. This week, I want you to take an image that demonstrates your own personal response to the question I posed, and that question is, why should we even care about or study intercultural communication? Remember I said that there was one term that you have to loop in and connect to your image and your analysis, and this week, it's self-awareness. You must also pick one of these other words in pink: ethical imperative, melting pot, assimilation, demographic imperative, organizational imperative, globalization, economic imperative, or the peace imperative. Each week I'll also provide a relevant example and then also include the instructions for Photo Voice. Let me show you what this looks like if you're going to go in and post. It is important to note that I always use a rubric for all assignments. So if you scroll down to the bottom of every assignment, Photo Voice, any of the major papers, click that rubric, pull it up and preview it. This is how you will be graded. You're going to be graded on the original image, and if you follow these criteria, you're going to get all the points. That includes embedding the image, make sure it's taken, not copy and pasted online, it's centered, and it demonstrates thought and effort. You'll be graded on analysis. Do you have a creative or well-developed caption under the image? Do you have 2 full paragraphs? Does your analysis involve depth and connect to the course content? Does it include both the required concept and one or more of the other listed concepts? That's how you get all the points here. You'll be graded on 3 substantive responses and also the mechanics. This simply means grammar, spelling, all those other important things that show you've focused on this with excellence. Now, if I were you, here's what I would do. I'd start a new thread, and by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m., I would upload an image. I'll title this. You don't have to title it any certain way. I'm just going to put Wagner. That's my last name. Many of you will take the image on your smartphone. I recommend emailing it to yourself so it's available on your desktop. If it is, it's really easy to attach here. You're going to click this button that looks like a little landscape. I'm going to find the image in my computer. For me, it's right on my desktop. And if you've read the example above, I talk about the African American History Museum and what that has done for me. This is important. It's going to ask you to provide alternative text. What that means is, for students who might have a visual impairment, you provide basically a type of textual bubble that will, instead of showing them the image, it will read what that image is. So I'm going to be very descriptive here. African American History Museum. You need to do this for all of your images, again, to accommodate students who may have accommodations related to visual impairments. Just put a descriptor of the image here and click OK. Now that's going to put this in, and you're going to notice that this image is huge. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. It depends on the resolution size. All you're going to do is click the image, drag this down. It might take 7 or 8 times, but we're going to get it small because you want your colleagues and your peers to be able to read it and to see it. Let's get it down to a workable size. We can stretch our window here. Okay, that's good. Now I would like this image centered. To do that, just click on the image, click this arrow, and align center. The caption you provide below it should also be centered. Again, it's like a title if it's hanging in an art gallery. Now the alternative text that you did that was a descriptor for this image, that's not your caption. Your caption is a creative title for this. And if I was captioning this, I might put the person I am not. Because this is the African American History Museum. but I'm not an African American person. I'm white, but I still learned from this, and it has etched itself into who I am. That's my caption. I'm going to bold it, so I'm just going to press Control B. Then I'm going to left justify, or align left, and I'm going to type my paragraph 1. Whoops. And then paragraph 2. In paragraphs 1 and 2, I'm going to analyze this image, talk about what it means to me, and tie it back to this prompt, which is why we should care or study about intercultural communication. I'm going to be sure to include this term because it's required, self-awareness. And then I'm going to pick one of these other ones, and for me, I would pick the peace imperative because that really resonates with me. Once I post it, I'm going to click post. I'm going to instead click cancel because it's not here. And that needs to be done by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. And then by Sunday, you're going to respond to, again, 3 peers. And I'll be adjusting this because it says 1, but it needs to be 3. You will notice that in the rubric. You'll notice that there are only modules 1 and 2 available right now. That's because I want us all, again, to be on the same page as we start. After Module 2, sometime around February 3rd or February 4th, you will see all of the modules open up. You can complete them. They all have specific due dates. Everything's always due Sunday at 11:59 p.m. But if you're one of those people like me that likes to work ahead, I think that we'll be able to do that. I just want to make sure during this first 2 weeks we're all on the same page. If you have questions, you know where to find me. Click here, shoot me an email, or a call, or a text, or a message here. Otherwise, I think you're ready to roll. And I really look forward to learning with you and from you this semester. I'm very excited to be your instructor for this course, and I hope you're as excited about this content as I am to teach it. I wish you well. I know you're going to rock it, and I look forward to working with you all along the way. Have a fantastic start to your semester.